So normally it would cover the whole brain. In this model, would just have a little strip of it, right? And then what's deep to that?
The arachnoid motor.
Yeah, see this side with the blood vessels on it? That's arachnoid. And then what's this here?
That's the pia mater.
Pia mater, right. And so you will see this model in the test, and we will have this label, and I might ask you what layer that is, or I might label this and ask you what's the layer superficial to that. See how we can do that? Yeah. Or I can label this layer and say what layer is superficial to this. See how we can ask questions like this? So it's not enough to just memorize them because then you have to know superficial from deep. Okay, so on the dura mater, what happens is that dura then goes down into this slot. What's that slot called?
Sagittal or transverse.
Longitudinal fissure.
Longitudinal fissure. And it separates those two and it forms this right here. And what is that?
This, or flex. Or
Falx cerebri. Corpus callosum is this thing is in the brain itself and would be sitting right underneath this right here is where that would be. Corpus callosum. So falx cerebri, okay? Falx cerebri. There's actually, it doesn't show you in the models, but there's a picture in your book. You have the same dura that kind of separates a little bit between the cerebellums. We just don't see it on the models. And that would be the falx cerebelli, okay?
But we don't need to.
You just, the way I would ask that kind of a word question. But you can see a little picture of it. And it's not very thick. It's not very thick. Now remember you had the cerebrum, and what was this big thing back down here? Cerebellum. And this was the transverse fissure. So there's also dura that goes between those two. And what's that called?
Tentorium.
Cerebellum.
Cerebellum, tentorium cerebelli. Tentorium cerebelli. And see this right here? Here's the cerebellum. Cerebrum. See that little white on two sides here? I'm going to use this model. You can see the white better. See the white there? That would be the tentorium cerebelli. It's going to separate those two. When I show the brain on the cadaver, you'll see it a lot better. It's a sheet that goes all the way across between the two. Okay. You collect blood in these sinuses. Which one is this?
Superior sagittal.
Superior sagittal sinus. You can see it here too. See superior sagittal sinus? Right there. And then this one here would be what?
Inferior sagittal.
Inferior sagittal sinus. You don't see it here, but it would be sitting right above that corpus callosum. It would be sitting right there is where you would find it. And then finally, the transverse sinus would be the blue that's right here. The blue that's right in there. Okay, this transverse sinus. What space is deep to this arachnoid?
Subarachnoid.
And what's in there?
Arachnoid
CSF.
cranium.
No,
Oh wait, the
CSF.
yeah.
CSF. And you've got to reabsorb that CSF, and you reabsorb it in what? Arachnoid granulations. And that's these little white dots, see? That's where you're reabsorbing CSF, arachnoid granulations. Okay, so what questions did you guys have? What structures does the falx cerebri separate?
The left and right.
Right, cerebral hemispheres. Cerebral hemispheres, the right and left cerebral hemispheres. What structures does the tentorium cerebelli separate?
The cerebellum and the cerebrum.
And it's cerebrum and the cerebellum. So it separates these two things. Okay. Where would you find a subdural hematoma?
Would it be under the skin?
Subdural.
So under the dura.
So it's going to be up here or down here?
Oh, below it.
So it's going to be deep to the dura.
So it would be in between the dura.
It's actually usually like in the subarachnoid space or, or in this arachnoid area, but it's deep to the dura.
Okay.
And where would you find an epidural hematoma?
Above.
Yeah, between the dura and what?
This
The bone.
bone.
Between the dura and the bone. Okay? That's where you'd find that. Any questions about this? We okay with it?